We're Bison! We are impacted! We're Bison! We're ready to get up! We want to win! Light the fire of power and make us free! We never break down! We want to win! We are impacted! The best team!
Hello and welcome back to TNI-UK Impacted, coming to you live via the Total Nonstop Impact Network on YouTube and Twitch. I'm your host Bison, and today I'm joined by, of course, the one and only Joker and the man simply known as Steve. Hey fellas, how we doing?
Hello.
How about you, Steve? You all right, mate?
Yeah, we're good. Cheers. How you doing?
Yeah, he's good. He's violent by design by the looks of it today. Hey, look
Supporting
at
each other.
him. Supporting EY. He's in the UK in a couple of weeks. So make sure if you're in the UK and you check out some of the indie listings, some of the indie shows he's going to be about. So yeah, I've definitely been looking at a few different dates I might be looking to attend. So I'm looking to get some ringside seats, and I'll probably be wearing my Bison by Design t-shirt. But there you go. So I'm looking forward to that. EY is one of my faves, all-time faves. So should be good. Might be able to get a little snippet from him as well, might we? You never know.
Yeah, see if we can get a personalized message from EY. That'd be awesome.
There you go. Who
Yeah.
knows? That'd be quite cool. I'm down with that. Anyway, quick hello to people that have joined us already in the chat. Did I see Mir? I think I saw Courtney and saw Anna. Gary's with us. Go on, Gary. I'm not sure who else was in there, actually. You what, sorry?
6 o'clock, according for me. What time is it?
Oh,
What time
what
is
time
it?
is it? Okay, it's impacted time.
Yeah.
Zach Bonifer is in the house, which is great to see as well. So we got a few people
Hi,
that joined
Gary.
us already. So don't forget to join in on the chat. You know, pop in your pop in anything that we're talking about, put in your thoughts, your private, if you want to ask us any questions, just chuck it all in there. We've got an opinion. We are certainly up for listening to what you guys have to say. We try and be as interactive as possible, guys. This is an interactive show. So let's try and be as interactive as we can with the chat. Old Steve will do his best to pop up as many of obviously, your comments as possible. And do I sound a bit bunged up, guys? I still am a little bit bunged up. I can't tell. I sound muffled.
Not as bad as you have been.
Oh, thanks, mate. I appreciate that.
I mean that is as much of a complimentary matter. Oh, here we go. Bugger off, Sammy.
Oh, the masked dogs appeared. Look,
He's dropped
my
his ball,
God.
and he wants his ball.
He's dropped his balls.
No, his ball. He's got a toy
Oh.
ball. He's dropped it, and he wants me to get
Okay.
it. He's gonna have to wait.
Good job, Scott. Good job.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's been a fantastic week, isn't it, guys? It's been a really good week. Do you know what? Like Sacrifice, I just thought to me, I was like, my God, what a fantastic show. I just couldn't believe that they were able to for me, it topped No Surrender. I thought No Surrender was great. No Sacrifice is literally topped that for me. And again, I think that's why I sort of kind of hang off with the whole giving out sort of kind of 10-star reviews of God knows,
Yeah.
because I just feel like there's always this opportunity that they could be doing more and could be better. And this time, as far as I'm concerned, this was better than No Surrender. I personally think that Hard to Kill for me is the best so far, but this definitely is up there with it. Rebellion, I think, is going to be an absolute blinder. If the way this has been going is any indication of the way we've been going, literally since Hard to Kill.
Yeah.
It's just week in, week out, great stuff. The specials have been fantastic. Now we've got 4 weeks to build, 4 or 5 weeks now to build up to Rebellion.
Yeah, and we've got WrestleCon coming up too as well.
Exactly. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm really excited about where we're going to go with it. But guys, now we haven't got too many news and rumors because a lot of obviously the news came out of Sacrifice itself, so we can't really say too much about that. But the obvious one being the fact that, and I think we all know this already, so there's no point leaving it to the end of the show. But the fantastic news that Josh Alexander has signed a multi-year deal with Impact Wrestling is just probably the best news of the year so far. I'm absolutely over the moon with this. What are your thoughts on this, boys?
I did not expect this at all. I was expecting to at least hear from Josh Alexander by Rebellion and then have him back Summerversary, like almost simultaneous with Sami Callihan. But this was the best surprises in Impact Wrestling for ages. I don't think I've ever popped his head until we had like Pentagon and Phoenix come in. They made a huge statement when they burst onto the scene. This was amazing.
Oh, baby!
Completely agree with that.
Right.
I mean, one of the things that you could say about this though was a good work. I mean, they worked it really, really well. There was a lot of people out there that were very like, "Oh my god, he's gone and he's going to AEW," and
Oh yeah,
Impact, what a bunch of losers. I think there was probably a visa issue, but again, it's to a degree of how much of an issue it was because it really wasn't clearly that bad. I loved some of the stuff, and I remember saying this to you, Steve. The minute he put up the picture of him, like apparently going back to work in construction, I knew. Hang on a minute, this is not this is a work, man, because we all know that there's he must have had. Well, he certainly had a pay rise. There's no doubt about that, because if he didn't have a pay rise back in before Christmas, he wouldn't have given up his job, would he? So, he had at least a pay rise, or his contract had already been renewed at that point. That doesn't mean to say that his contract, however, was in correlation to his visa. Now, his visa could have been, longer, and then you just had to wait for that to sort of kind of run its course before you could renew it, kind of thing. So there's always that. And of course, probably quite nice to give Josh a little bit of a break before he's now going to clearly go into being, the face of the company in the next sort of, I would say over the next year, that's going to happen. So incredible to have Josh back. I'm over the moon with it. I think everybody here is over the moon with it. Superb. Now, talking about Canadians and visas and all that kind of stuff, we all know that, for any of the Canadian guys to work US promotions, they need to have a visa. To get that visa, normally you have to be sponsored by a major company. And Impact would be one of those. So an Impact, an NWA, obviously AEW, maybe MLW, those sort of promotions, maybe even GCW, I don't know. But you have to have that main company sponsoring you to then be able to get that visa. So interestingly enough, Aiden Prince himself has been advertising he's now available for US bookings. And of course, with him being advertised for the digital media special this week against, I believe, Mike Bailey, which we'll talk about a little bit later, it would suggest, and it turns out, I have watched that, and that match took place at Sacrifice. So he was in the US for that match. So that would suggest to me that there is a possibility we could be seeing Aiden for a little bit longer, because the only times we've ever seen Aiden Prince on Impact previously has been when they've been taping in Canada. So now he's clearly able to cross the border, come into the US and take bookings into the US. I think he's been signed.
I think Josh Alexander has something to do with that too.
I think he's been quietly signed, and this is fantastic news.
Proud as a peacock.
I'm over the moon to see Aiden. I really am. I think he's fantastic. Another great Canadian wrestler. And I wish him all the best. I really do. What are your thoughts on Aiden? I know you like him, Joe. Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of Aiden Prince. I'm really excited to see him cross and come to the US. Mike Bailey's made a huge impact since he's come over, and Aiden Prince is another one of these guys that's been desperate to get back into the US or come over to the US for the first time, and just show everyone what he can really do. And he's, like you said, he's advertising Impact Wrestling, so I'm pretty sure that Anthem is definitely one of the reasons that he's got his visa sorted. And I'm looking forward to seeing him, and I'm hoping that they can do the same for Alexa Nicole now as well. She's someone else who I'd like to see come over from Canada as well.
Yeah, I think that would be good. I think they were lucky enough because they were doing so many tapings in Canada pre-COVID. They were able to bring some of these guys in that are fantastic workers and great talents without necessarily signing them at that time. But now, obviously, if they want to bring these guys in, they're obviously going to have to give them contracts of some sort. So it'd be good. It's going to be good, I think, moving forward. What do you think of Aiden Prince, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, he's someone that is impressed many times when they've gone over to Canada, and I think he's someone that the Impact fans have been calling to get on their show for a long time.
Yeah,
and if he is someone that Impact finally picked up, then he's a great coup. And if Impact are going to do a Team Canada, he's someone that is fit for a Team Canada.
Well, there you go. There is the rumors that there was quite a few Canadian wrestlers that came as well. So are we possibly looking at a Team Canada reunion or a rebirth? Who knows? It'd be very interesting to see that. Really, really would.
Good job, Scott. Good job.
Yeah, definitely. Very good job, Scott. Well done, mate. Well done, the coach. And of course, some other great news. Is it Christy or is it? It's Christy, isn't it? Christy Hemme. I always
Christy.
Christy. That's right. Christy Hemme is back with Impact in a backstage role, doing a bit of producing and a few different bits and bobs like that as well. So it's great. I think we've started to see quite a lot of more of the sort of knockout, photo shoots have been coming out recently as well. So that goes to, I would imagine that she's part of that. I think it's great news. Big fan of Christy. So I think she's a great ring announcer as well. I mean, if they ever stuck for a ring announcer, then Christy's your girl. And of course, if they do decide to go with the all knockout show that we've been talking about for months and months and months and months, Christy would be a perfect ring announcer for that, wouldn't she?
Definitely. Yeah. I think I'm really excited to see her back. I've not seen her for God knows how long. I can't remember if she was in Impact Wrestling when I started watching in 2016. But I remember her from WWE, and I know she's been a huge part of TNA and everything. So I've always been a real big supporter of her. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she can offer. And like you said about the knockouts photo shoots and things like that, I'm pretty sure she was a big influence on that. And so
yeah,
she's
definitely a part of that. I remember back in the day when it was TNA, she used to do loads of stuff like that. The whole themed kind of photo shoots. They're like Halloween themed ones.
Yeah.
And, the fact that you started seeing the Mardi Gras one and all that kind of stuff makes you start to think, oh, hang on a minute. There's the influence there. So I think it's great news.
We spoke about it last time with Dina and how he knows with how Impact set up. Christy Hemme is another person with how Impact. She knows with how Impact like stuff. She knows with how how they have a history with how they like mixing my words up with how they have a history in doing stuff. Christy has a knowledge with it, doesn't she?
Yeah, I totally agree.
She's like Gail Kim. She knows how to work with the knockouts.
Well, they're all great friends, aren't they? So it makes total sense. The fact that we've been seeing Tracy Brooks, for instance, turning up as well and doing different things. Of course, Tracy is married to I forget his name now.
Kazarian.
There you go, Kaz. There you go. She's married to Kaz, so I don't know. Maybe we could see the return of Kaz again at some point.
Yeah.
That would be awesome as well. So lots of really positive stuff going on. On the more negative side, it is sad to see the departure of Jake Something, who departs Impact at the moment. Again, I don't think it's just a farewell. I don't think it's a goodbye. I think it's just a farewell or until next time kind of scenario. The guy probably, wants to go off and try a few other bits and bobs. But I think Jake is the type of character that we would see back again. Or maybe he's just gone for a little while and then come back repackaged, to take it to the next level kind of thing. Because let's face the facts, Jake has got main event written all over him, right?
Yeah, the match he had, that was a fantastic last hurrah. You know, they didn't send him back in, you know, and just say that there you go, that's done. They made sure he left, leaving a really, really strong impression. And that just shows how much respect Impact Wrestling has for him. You know, they could have just written him off TV and not done anything, but they let him go, showing he's a main event star, and everyone should have their eyes on him.
Yeah, I agree. I could totally agree with that 100%. He is a top star without doubt. Now, guys, after that, I just want to get stuck into this review because what a show!
You can see the Bison bobbing up and down.
I can't wait. Come on, let's talk about it. Yeah, I've had like 3 or 4 days now to sort of kind of real digest this show, and I'm excited. So we started off, guys, with the countdown to sacrifice, and I have to say, if any of you guys have not, you know, been sort of kind of checking out the countdown to sacrifice stuff, like if you're a person that doesn't necessarily pay-per-views or whatever, these sort of things that give you an idea of what this show is all about. They don't treat it any differently. They call it the countdown, but in reality, it's just part of sacrifice. You know, it's not. You know, there's no different commentators. It's the same guys. It's just a way of saying, look, check this out. Like, it's well worth it. And I think the opening match of the night, which was just. Yeah, it's like a bit like the buy-in, isn't it? It's a bit like the buy-in. Come and check this out.
With less commentary and more action.
Free. You know, it's free. If you like it, quickly buy the pay-per-view kind of thing. I think it was good. I enjoyed it. Now, the opening match of the night, which is, I think this is what I would say is kind of like they're clearly saying, you know, any of the matches that you're going to put on the countdown, they've got to be good. This is the thing. If you're going to put it out for free, and it's going to potentially encourage people to check out Sacrifice and buy it via Fight or whatever it is that they're going to do, then whatever they put on this show has to be good, right? So to people to go, well, fuck me, that was good. You know what I mean? Like, I want to check out the rest of it. So for me, I think this shows that how much respect and faith they have in the, you know, like Lady Frost, Giselle Shaw coming in, the faith that they've got for these guys to put on a great performance, a great show for people to go, actually, I might want to go and check this out. So the opening match, Giselle Shaw versus Lady Frost. So basically, this is how it ran down. You got Lady Frost looks to even the score with Giselle Shaw. She whips Frost towards whips Frost towards the steel steps, but Frost counters and hits the Hurricane Ronda on the outside. Shaw delivers a kick to the midsection to gain control. Shaw then connects with a twist invader bomb for a 2 count. Frost comes back with a snowball fight cannonball in the corner, which was pretty awesome. Shaw spikes Frost with a hanging DDT off the second rope. I thought that was a bit mistimed, but it was still pretty cool. But it's off the rope, but it's not enough to keep her down. Frost soars through the air, hitting the frostbite to win the match and hand Shaw the very first loss. As she's, since she's come to Impact Wrestling. Lady Frost obviously defeats Giselle Shaw with that incredible frostbite from the top.
Stick a carrot in me and call me Frosty.
It was just absolutely fantastic way to finish. And again, it just goes to show that, you know, at the end of the day, they brought Giselle in. They're trying to make her look strong, but at the same time, they're not afraid. For Giselle to eat the pin, especially to someone as awesome as Lady Frost. Let's face the facts, right? Lady Frost is as over as any other Knockouts roster, I would say. You know, the crowd love her wherever they go. That's what I say. That's what I say. What were your thoughts on this match then, guys?
Oh, let's see if that, because I can go on for ages.
Yeah, I mean, you in this match, you can definitely see that you've got your future heel and your future babyface in the Knockouts division here. You know, Lady Frost was as over as you'll ever be. So you're definitely building up the future of the Knockouts division if Impact can keep both these women on the Knockouts roster, and they both gelled incredibly well. So yeah, this was a fantastic way to open the show. To a degree, it didn't officially open the show. It opened the buy-in. But if you were looking to say to people, we want you to buy the show, then yeah, this was a great way to tell people, yeah, you need to buy the show, because these women are giving you a way to buy. This is only a way to this is only a part of the show. So yeah, this was a great way to open it.
Fair enough. What about you, Joe? What are your thoughts?
I was really, really impressed with this match, and like Steve had just said, if you wanted any reason to buy the whole event and sit down and watch the whole event, you got it with these two. I said it after I watched the whole event that Lady Frost and Giselle Shaw set the whole tempo for the entire event, and it just escalated from there. And this is one of my favorite matches really of the entire card. And to say that for an opening match that's on the buy-in is not putting down the rest of the matches. This match was just so amazing and so entertaining. And I thought Giselle Shaw was going to get a cheap victory, and I'm so pleased that Lady Frost won, being a huge fan of Lady Frost. And it's just good to see. We've got to really see her high flying ability a lot more in this match too. We really got to see a bit of everything from everybody, and
yeah, I agree.
Just incredible match.
Good. It was a great match. I think it was a great match to start out the countdown to Sacrifice, and you just can't fail to be entertained by certainly Lady Frost. She's fantastic. And she's so over with the crowd. And Giselle Shaw again, top quality, top notch female wrestler. Absolutely superb. I was lucky enough to see her live.
They both get their character.
They have. But I was extremely lucky to see Giselle Shaw live back in the UK. About 4 or 5 months back. She's very good. She's very good. Okay, so we then go backstage. We've got Gia Miller interviews Knockout World Champion Mickie James ahead of her title defense against Tasha Steelz, later tonight. Chelsea Green offers to have her back in that match, but Mickie wants to do it all on her own, and sort of kind of says, look, I've got to do this. This is I've got to do this, etc. So so that seemed to set the tone for that. We then move into what's this? What?
Wow! They've just announced Sabrin and Jay White for WrestleCon.
Wow! There you go.
Fuck me, that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, that'll be another great match.
No apologies for the explicit there. I'm sorry.
We'll get onto the first version of that in a second. So of course we then move on to the second match to the countdown. We've got Rich Swann and Willie Mack versus obviously of Team Impact versus Honor No More's Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. Now, Maria Kanellis joins Tom Hannafan and Matthew Raywell on the commentary, which I thought was really good. Maria's good at commentary. She's good on the mic. So, as much as I find her a little bit annoying, she's very good at what she does. So, that was good. It was a nice addition. And like I've always said, a female voice added to the two guys, I think would be fantastic. But there you go. That's another story. So this match kicks off. We get Taven takes Swan off his feet with a drop kick from the second row, pretty much straight on. Matt quickens in the pace with a Hurricane Run. Taven Bennett turns the tide when he slams Mac back first into the hardest part of the ring. Swan flies, taking out everyone with a corkscrew from the top rope to the floor. Mac is next is next to Fly as he connects with the flipping senton to the outside, which was bloody awesome. Bennett hooks a leg of Mac from the outside, following Tavern to capitalise with a DDT for a 2 count. Swan launches himself off of Tavern's back and hits a cutter on Bennett. Tavern also puts Swan away, following just a tip. Swan rolls up Bennett to score the victory. So we end up with a win there. We got Willie Mack, or should we call them the Soldiers? The Soldiers defeated, or Team Impact defeating Honor No More in this fantastic, and I mean fantastic tag match. And
that son of a bitch.
And just goes to show how good all four or both these tag teams are, because you know Bennett and Tavern are fantastic together, and Rich, obviously Swan and Mac are great too. We've known that for a little while, so I thought this was fantastic. What are your thoughts on this one? I'll go with Joe first.
This was an incredible match. This Willie Mack and Rich Swan really. I thought that it was going to be a loss to Team Impact in this one, but. We got to see we've seen Willie Mack and Rich Swan work well together, but now we've really got to see that their tandem offense build up a lot more, and they really are starting to gel more as a team, even more. And so I think Matt Tavern and Mike Bennett going up against them was the best. Was the best way to showcase just how good Willie Mack and Rich Swan can be together. So this whole Honor No More storyline is really boosting up the tag division.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Bennett and Tavern were amazing. And you can see that there's a lot of influence from the Wolves and Austin Aries and that from those two, from some of the moves and stuff they've done, and just how they wrestle. So it was really it's just a really impressive match. And that some of the flying moves that Rich Swan does, he never fails to amaze me. I was so on edge throughout this entire match. I really think Swan and Mac would lose this match. So when Rich Swan managed to get that pinfall, I was popped really hard and woke my dog up.
Look at this dummy!
Dummy! Yeah!
We got a dummy bell, guys.
Yeah, we got a dummy bell. Yes, we got a dummy bell. Love it. Anyway, thank you very much. Well done, buddy. You were good. Anyway, so great 2 matches from the from the countdown to sacrifice. Both matches
easily one of my matches of the night. That tag match.
It was fantastic. It was a fantastic match. There's no doubt about it. Both guys, both teams are fantastic, and I'm hoping this. We might see some kind of feud moving forward between these two as well. I think it could be interesting to see that. Yeah. I think Bennett and Tavern would make fantastic tag champs. I'm going to say it. I think they would be great.
It really baffles. Like you think that the tag team division is thin, and then you look at both these teams and you think, why are they not in that tag team picture?
Crazy. Absolutely crazy, really is. But who knows? We'll have to see where it goes. What
is that a bit of a joke or?
I don't know. I think so. Eli Drake, dummy, Anyway,
he was one of my favorites. He was.
Anyway. We then move into Sacrifice. So Sacrifice itself begins. We've got the X Division champion Trey Miguel versus Jake something, which, we've already talked about. Jake has obviously left the company. None of us knew at this point where this was going to go. He was getting a big push, which I think was fantastic for Impact to do that, because, it helps him go out on a high wherever he ends up going. I think it's going to be, it's going to be interesting. Where this one goes, but this was again a fantastic match. So we get so this is how it's sort of kind of like all panned out. Jake puts his power on display in the early goings as he hits a huge clothesline. Jake connects with the thunderous power bomb for a very close near fall, pretty much right at the start. Jake is in total control after spearing Trey in the corner. Trey uses some innovative offense to create some much needed separation, because at this point it was all Jake. Trey hits a series of pinpoint kicks for a 2 count. Jake regains his edge following a vicious backbreaker for another near fall. Trey slides under the bottom rope and spikes Jake into the ramp with a destroyer, which I have to say was pretty cool. Trey encounters it was pretty cool. Trey counters a powerbomb attempt into a meteor. I think that's called. Is it called a meteora or something?
Meteora.
Yeah.
But Jake kicks out. Trey hits another meteora. This time off the top rope to win the match and retain the X Division Championship. Now, for me, I have to say this, and I'm going to say this now. I actually thought Jake was going to win when I was watching the match because Jake seemed to be so strong in this match. They made him look really, really strong. And so, although obviously Trey obviously got in some fantastic offense as usual, the way the match I thought was going, I honestly thought we were in for a new champion at that point. But there you go. And still, X Division champion, Trey Miguel. I'm happy for it because I think his run's been great. What were your thoughts on this one, Steve?
Yeah, like you said, this was a match that could have gone either way. All throughout the match, it had you in suspense because you really didn't know which way it would go. Part of me, like you felt, I did think that Jake could pull the win off.
Yeah.
And when it got into the final few minutes, when Trey was going up top, I was like, this could be the end, and it was. And I'm happy for Trey because like you said, Trey's run has been absolutely fantastic. And I'm happy for him because all throughout the Rascals, we were calling for belts, we were calling for championships, and now he's got it and he's taken it and he's run with it. And we were obviously hoping Jake would get the title, but we're just as happy for Trey. And he's gone in. Both men went in there, and neither man came out as a loser. That was a fantastic match. Yeah,
I agree. I think it was great. Joe, what about you?
This was incredible. This match. That power slide destroyer from Trey Miguel was more than just fantastic. That was just something else completely. We've seen Trey Miguel do some crazy offense before, but this was just insane. Jake, something like I said earlier when we talked about his departure, he went through this entire match looking strong. Impact Wrestling made him stand out and made him look like a main event star. Yeah. So with this being his last match, they didn't send him off with sour grapes or a poor taste in everyone's mouth. They let him go looking like a god.
Yeah, they did. I agree.
And kudos to Trey because, like Steve said, we've been calling for the Rascals to be tag champions and all that, and we were calling for Trey to be X Division champion. Now that he's got it, I'm glad he's following on from Josh Alexander, and Josh Alexander reset the X Division. So Trey Miguel's got a lot to live up to now. So and he's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I think, whatever happens moving forward, Jake's got a bright future. And regardless of whether he goes to, I know, so don't be surprised if he goes to AEW, etc. If that's what he does, then good luck to him. At the end of the day, that we only ever wish success to any of these guys. It's a shame if we lose another one, but we've got other guys coming in. So, it's just the way it is. Nowadays, with the fact that people can move around a little bit more freely, they can do different bits. It's the way it is, and I think it's it's the best way for the wrestlers themselves. Personally,
with his look, he'd probably be a candidate for maybe NWA.
Yeah, definitely. And there's no reason. Maybe he could pop over to NWA for a year and then come back. I still have a feeling that Jake is just being taken away to be repackaged. I don't know. Just let's wait and see what happens. Anyway, moving on. We then get treated to another fantastic backstage promo from Tasha Steelz, who basically was declaring herself as the new Knockouts champion before she's even hit the ring. It was again for me, Tasha's promo work over the last sort of month has been incredible. And this was just another fantastic example of how good she is on the mic. Exactly. What about you, Joe? I mean, do you agree with this?
Oh, Tasha Steelz is probably the best talker in Impact Wrestling right now. She's been the promo is once again just savage. Is the one of the best and most polite way to put it. It's just evil, but so entertaining. It was just ace.
Yeah, she's great.
I could just be like throwing out endless amounts of ways of saying it was fucking brilliant. Basically,
she's the fucking greatest. But yeah, what about you, Steve? What do you think of Tasha's promos over this one and over the past month?
Yeah, like I say, her evolution is fantastic. To see where she's come from to where she is now, it's a real journey, and it's a kudos to her because she has evolved so much and so quickly as well.
Incredible, absolutely incredible how far this girl's come. It's interesting. Hakeem's just put it there. Who would win a promo battle between Eli Drake and Tasha Steelz?
God, that would be tough.
Dummy there.
I throw Sami Callihan in there as well.
Yeah, Sammy's pretty damn good. And I tell you what, Josh Alexander is coming on.
Yeah, Josh is on fire right now.
He's on fire with his promo work as well. So there's some great stuff. Obviously, even Morrissey's great. The only one that I think is this is the thing. I might be the only person that thinks
so many good ones out there.
The one thing that I think lets Moose down is his promos. I just his mic work. I just find him his mic work is very. I mean, I know he's doing it for a reason, but I just find it sometimes to be a little bit slow and methodical, and I don't.
Yeah, part of me feels like I don't. I think it's how can I put it? I don't know if it's down to him because I do think he has a lisp, so I do think it is a bit of a something he can't quite control.
Right. Yeah, but I've got a lisp. I mean, I don't know.
But some stick out more than others, don't they?
I guess, but
you can hear when he's talking that there were sometimes words that he
I have to say that's not what I mean. Yeah, he does have a list, but I don't really pay much attention to that. I guess that's probably because I've had one for years. I've had one like all my life. I've got a lisp, so it's. But the bottom line is, I don't know. I don't know whether it's because of the characters that he's doing at the moment, but I just find it like this whole kind of like very much along the lines of sort of kind of it's very, very slow.
Yeah, he's carrying on the character he had when he went for the TNA World Championship.
I guess, but to me, it feels like it's very much thinking about every single word before you actually say it. You know what I mean? So
that's always one of those things that you're going to be compared to, isn't it? I mean, for me, you're never going to be as good as so and so, but you're always going to be better than so and so. So long as it's you're okay. I mean, he's never going to be in a Callahan, Eli Drake area, but at the moment he's doing better than I think Eddie's doing. So it's.
Oh yeah, yeah. No doubt about that.
Yeah, you're always going to be compared.
I think so. But talking about Eddie Edwards, that's the next match. Funny enough. That was amazing. So with Eddie Edwards, obviously with his Honor No More faction versus Rhino with his Team Impact group. Now, this is interesting because this was fire from the start. I mean, Rhino charges at Edwards to jumpstart the match, like straight off the bat. Maria tries to hand Edwards his signature kendo stick, but the referee catches her in the act and ejects her from ringside, which is always good. Edwards distracts the referee, allowing Taven to trip up Rhino from the outside. Edwards rakes the eyes of Rhino, then begins to wear him down with a headlock. Of course, that always works, wearing down Rhino. Rhino builds momentum with a mini spear in the corner. Honor No More and, of course, Team Impact then start brawling at ringside. We get Swan and Max soar through the air, making out everyone on the outside, like literally taking everybody out on the outside. Macklin runs down to the ring, and in a shocking turn of events, nails not only Eddie Edwards, but then Rhino too with the kendo stick. Edwards capitalizes with the Boston knee party on Rhino to then obviously get the win. So we get an Eddie Edwards win. Obviously, Honor Moore defeat him. It was sort of kind of one-on-one because we had Swan and Mac beat Tavern and Bennett.
Yeah.
So that was Impact beating him there. And then we've had a flip here in this one. You know, I thought this was more about storytelling than the wrestling. But it was still a pretty solid match. It was enjoyable from top to finish. So what were your thoughts on this one? Let's go with Steve on this one first.
I thought the match was okay. Like you said, it was more about storytelling than the match itself. I'm going to be intrigued to see the next couple of months when it comes to Rhino, because over the last sort of 6 months, I've not seen too much from him in the ring. So I don't know if they're trying to protect him. I don't know if he's got an injury or something currently. So yeah, if you watch this match back, you don't see too much from him. And over the last 6 months, we haven't seen too much from him physically in the ring. So I don't know if he is carrying an injury currently or something.
Okay.
But yeah, the match itself is decent. Swan and Mac, Swan diving over the ref was insane. And yeah, I love the angle at the end with Macklin, because him basically doing what he did, and then him saying, "Look, you thought I was the traitor. I wasn't. You should have trusted me." And we didn't, kind of thing. It ties in perfectly, because if you don't get trusted when you feel like you should, you feel betrayed. So he's basically proven them right. So it kind of makes sense.
What about you, Joe? What do you think?
Yeah, this is one of the most solid matches we've seen Rhino in for a while, in my opinion. Like you guys said, it's all mainly about storytelling. So the whole point wasn't really about focus on the wrestling, but Rhino dealt a hell of a lot of punishment in this match to Eddie Edwards, and he looked really, really good in this match, and which is good to see. And when it all broke down, I'm so glad the ref didn't throw the match out, because then the crowd would have rioted. But when it broke down, they production wise, they managed to catch all the key spots really, really well, and keep everyone in tune with what was going on. So if when Rich Swan was doing a dive, they got the shot perfectly. When Willie Mack did that senton off the top turnbuckle onto everybody, they got that perfectly. And the finish with Steve Macklin was just fantastic. Nobody saw it coming. And for me, I think this is going to build towards Macklin versus Eddie Edwards at Rebellion. Now, I was thinking it would be Chris Sabin versus Eddie Edwards, but I think that this might build something, or it's going to teach Steve Macklin double crossing on No More, and then build to Eddie Edwards and Steve Macklin at Rebellion. But I can definitely see these two guys heading into each other once more.
Yeah, I agree. I think Eddie Edwards versus Macklin at Rebellion would be a badass match.
Yeah. Do you see anyone from Team Impact getting involved, given Macklin kind of turned on them as well?
Oh, Rhino will probably come out, or Chris Sabin.
Yeah, I'd say probably Rhino, because it was his match, wasn't it? And he's the one that got kendo sticked. Yeah. So we could potentially see a Rhino Macklin match, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Because that's all going to become a grudge, isn't it? But we're just going to have to wait and see how. I mean, we've got a couple of weeks now. They did some taping on the Monday, the following day. So who knows? Could we see Macklin versus Rhino in the next couple of weeks? We'll have to wait and see, won't we? So backstage, the Influence tells Caleb with a K to stay in the back for their Knockouts World Tag Team title opportunity against the Inspiration, calling him a liability of all things. I mean, wow. I think they're right, to be fair. I think they were right to do that. I think at the moment he is a bit of a liability, in the way that he's being sort of kind of used by the Influence. That
is not an appropriate question.
But of course, That then leads into the Knockouts World Tag Team Championship, which is obviously the Inspiration, the current champions versus the Influence. Now, I think I'm gonna go into a little thing on this one, but I have to say this surprised us all. I think this took us all by surprise. Not necessarily the fact that the Influence won, but how it all sort of kind of panned out. Yeah. So this is how this one all panned out. So Lee and Rain exchanged pin attempts in the opening moments of the match. The Influence mock the Inspiration as they perform their signature pose in the middle of the ring, which I thought was funny. Dashwood drops Lee face first into the apron as Rain sends McKay into the steel ring posts. The Influence begin to wear down McKay as they cut off the ring and employ double team offense, which was very good stuff going on. McKay creates separation with a clothesline, then tags in Lee, who goes on the attack. Lee hits the fisherman's suplex on Dashwood, yes, for a 2 count. Dashwood contains the idolizer, but driven into McKay's knee first. Now Dashwood hits the spotlight kick on Lee for a near fall. Caleb with a K makes his way to the ring, which was a bit weird because then he'd been told to stay back. Titles into the ring. Dashwood grabs it and hits Lee over the head to score the pinfall. The Influence are now the brand spanking new World Knockouts Tag Champions. Now, my question to you is, was Tennille with a T meant to get that belt, or do we think it was meant for somebody else?
I personally think it wasn't meant for Tennille Dashwood, because if you guys have seen the post-match interview that they've done, you see Caleb is there, he's celebrating with them, trying to like, I'm the one that I hope you guys win this match. I hope you guys win. And throughout the entire thing, they're ignoring him and left Caleb then thinking, oh shit, should I have thrown that belt into the ring? But the match itself this is probably the best match Tennille Dashwood's had since she's come into the company, and
forever.
I was so shocked by the result. I did not expect them to win.
This is the best match she's ever had.
Hold on, calm down, just breathe.
Where she was carried by the 5 times knockout champion
and Kiera Hogan. And anyway, we all thought Caleb with the K was going to turn, and I felt really sorry for him where they left him backstage after when they left him in the corner from the ring before. Then they carried it on to here, so you could feel that heel turn from Caleb, or should we say it's a heel turn, face turn from Caleb was coming, but the fact that it didn't happen and it was great way to just keep everything unpredictable. And
I think it did happen. It just didn't work out that way. Nobody realizes it happened. That's the thing. Can I just say a quick thank you to Anna, by the way? She just did a little super sticker. Thank you for that, sweetheart.
Cassie and Jessie McKay once again just showed that they deserved to get the belts. I wasn't happy that Decay lost the title so quickly, but then the Inspirations run as tag champions has been absolutely brilliant. They were so entertaining, and I can't wait to see them try and get the titles back now. This is going to be great to see.
All I've got to say is, at the end of the day, this match was. I think Tennille should be thanking her 5-time Knockouts champion partner for carrying her through this match.
Yeah,
you've stepped over the line now. You've taken it too far.
No, it's great. No, it's good to see. Like, at the end of the day, I've always said, as much as I'm not as long as I'm not a Tennille fan, I have said in recent weeks that I felt that her work has improved. Her in-ring has improved. Her promo work has improved. She has got better over the last sort of kind of 6 months to a year. I'm not going to take that away from her, but it doesn't alter the fact that she's definitely one of the worst. For me, on one of the worst wrestlers on the Knockouts roster, but there you go. That's just my humble opinion. But there you go.
We can just have that looping over and over and over.
just need to keep it going.
We just have to do a 30-minute Bison rant on to Neil with that just playing in the background.
All the way. Yeah, no, definitely. It's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. No, but it's interesting to see. This was expecting it. None of us, and I like it. To me, it's almost like it's a hidden heel turn, which I think it was really good, really well put together. I think they put it together really, really well. Welcome to Paul.
It's
nice
how
to see
it can
Paul
now
Nelson.
kind of go either way with Caleb. You know, because Caleb's sort of just stuck in the middle now. Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't know what to do now. Yeah. But at the end of the day, he's going to be there now until obviously he can find a way. I think he can find a way of getting it back onto the onto the inspiration. So I find it really difficult. I keep getting mixed up between the inspiration and the influence all the time. Well, weird. But anyway,
It's an inspirational influence.
Yeah, I keep getting them mixed up. But anyway, so it's all good. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good match. It was clever. It was clever how they played this one. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this one all pans out. Maybe I should do like Trent does his Trent rants, doesn't he, on Patreon? Maybe I should do a Bison rants onto Neil on Patreon. What do you think?
I'm up for it.
I could do
it. Would be to Neil heavy.
It would be fun. I'll see if I can come up with something. See if the boys will put it up. Anyway,
in my ass.
We then go backstage where we find Anthony Corelli giving. Heath was having a conversation, and then Anthony Corelli comes in, gives Heath so much needed confidence ahead of his Impact World Title shot against Moose tonight. Those people were like, "Who the hell's that?" If you don't know Santino Morelli from from up north is Anthony Corelli. So there you go. There you go. That's it, Zach. Cool, like Bison bitches. You're right. Yeah.
Bam.
Exactly. That'd work. That's it. Bison's bitching. How about bitching Bison? I don't know. Anyway, it'll all be very good.
Bison bitches just reminds you of ODB for some reason.
That's it. W. Morrissey continues to anyway, that deserves one of these. W. Morrissey continues to terrorize Brian Myers as he attempts to powerbomb him through his alternative commentary table. Myers escapes, but Morrissey hits the BQE on a security guard instead. So Morrissey, I think, was a tad upset at this point. He's a tad upset. And I know one thing's for sure. I think everybody in the crowd probably laughed an awful lot. I don't know. What do you think, Steve?
I laughed.
They laughed. And they laughed, and they laughed, and they laughed.
Exactly.
We're about to get ourselves tested after this.
We are, and I think Hakeem's right there. If you pop that little thing up there,
definitely.
I think that is the plan. I think we could get Morrissey versus Myers at Rebellion. I think that would be a great match. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Bonkers. I like that. Yeah, 10 minutes. What's your beef, Bison? I like Bison's blunderbuss. I quite like that one as well. That's quite cool. Well, we'll have to see. Lads. We'll have a chat behind the scenes to see if we can come up with something. But anyway, that then obviously leads us nicely into the big man match of the night. We've got Jonah versus PCO. Now, basically, up to this point, now, as much as there has been some great matches, this match absolutely blew me away, especially knowing that, PCO is in his 50s. It really was a fantastic match. So
I love this match!
Exactly.
Damn right.
This is how it went down. So PCO sends Jonah to the outside with a running drop kick to the back of the head. The brawl spills to the floor where PCO drives him face first into the steel ring post. Jonah fights back as he hits a side Russian leg sweep on the exposed ramp. Jonah delivers a series of chops as his monstrous opponent begs for more. PCO launches himself through the ropes, flattening Jonah outside the ring. PCO hits I don't know what this meant, deaminator or something off the top. The ring rattles and shakes, which is sort of kind of like reminiscent of the old up north stuff. So the rattles and shakes following a thunderous suplex from Jonah. Both men jockey for position, exchanging German suplexes in the process. PCO picks him off the top rope with a Hurricane Rondo, which was very cool. Followed by the PCO salt for 2. That there, I thought he was going to literally take Jonah's head off at that point. Jonah spikes PCO into the steel steps with a power driver moments later, which was that was beastly. Jonah powerballs him into the steps on the floor. Jonah hits a tsunami splash to win, which actually hit him literally right on his head, which I thought Jesus Christ, he's just killed him. But that was, for me, that was a incredible matchup. And Paul Nelson just mentioned PCO is 55 years old, and he's still putting his body through that. Now I'm I'm 47, and I'm feeling it. So I can't imagine how PCO feels after he's had a match with someone like Jonah. That would be, oh my God, that was just an incredible match. Now, after the match, obviously, the infamous Dr. Ross tries to attend to PCO, but he's pushing him away and don't want none of it. Whether this is part of the whole process of the storytelling, I'm not sure. But he wasn't having none of it. So, there you go. Or whether it's just a way of introducing Dr. Ross. Being in attendance on the show for later on, I don't know. But there you go. So, fantastic match. What was your thoughts on this one, Joe?
This was if we thought Black Taurus and Jonah wasn't a horse fight, then this one was a horse fight. If you guys need a little definition of it, because this was incredible. I was blown away by how much punishment PCO could take. This is the first time I've really sat down and watched him go one-on-one with anybody, let alone outside of him. It's from outside of Impact Wrestling. So for Jonah, of all people, to be the guy that really sits down and lets you see what this guy's all about, to be that guy, that was just incredible, and just shows how much respect PCO has for everybody.
All right, Violet, calm down.
And God, and Sammy's banging the door. Getting a bit distracted now. Some of the moves he pulled off was amazing. Like the Hurricane Runner he pulled off. We've seen him do the senton before. That was amazing. And Jonah as well, when he to take that German suplex from PCO just to get up and launch him himself was just so great. And Jonah's reaction to a lot of PCO's endurance in this match really helped push it along too, because Jonah's usually really stone-faced and just you don't get up. Fine, fair enough, but he really did take on board what PCO's character is all about, which is he's a from French Canadian Frankenstein, so he's just not human. And Jonah really played off of that brilliantly. And then that tombstone power driver, and then a power bomb onto the floor. I thought he broke his neck, and then to go one further and tsunami him. You can see why Dr. Ross had come out, because PCO was literally almost shaking and hemorrhaging in the ring. After I thought he was seriously injured.
Yeah, but so did I, because that he landed directly on his head.
That. The landing from the powerbomb on its own, he was lucky he just managed to land on his shoulders first before his head hit the floor. That was incredible. And the match was just brilliant. It was it's one of Jonah's best matches since he's come into Impact Wrestling. And,
Totally. And can I just welcome Norris to the chat there? Norris Sparks. I'm not sure we've seen you before, but it's great to have you with us. You've probably been here loads of times. I'm just a terrible. It's
been a while since we've seen him.
Has it? It's been a while, but it's nice. Yeah, keep contributing, Norris. We like to see that. Obviously, we've got Mira in there, and Gary and Tom is in there as well, and Zach and Hakeem is leaving comments, as well as the lovely ladies. Anna and Courtney as well. So, it's great to see you guys leaving your comments. Now, From that matchup, we then get Gia Miller interviewing Jay White ahead of his dream match with his former mentor, Alex Shelley. White says that Shelley has no idea of the man that he has become. And that is evident when we actually get into the match a little bit later, certainly towards the end anyway. But, you know, this one is absolutely, for me, I mean, I've got it here in big red letters on my little notes here, big red letters, match of the night. For me, nothing comes close. This is the match of the night. And this is basically how it all went down. So this is Jay White versus Alex Shelley. It was great to see Alex Shelley back in the impact zone, as they call it. And again, like you say, this is the teacher versus student battle. So Shelley stomps him in the back of the head to take control. Shelley attempts to slingshot crossbody, but White gets his knees up to counter this. White continues to build momentum by driving him back first into the frame of the ring. Shelley drops White with a running clothesline, giving him an opportunity to regain his composure. White spikes him with a DDT to quickly turn things around. White delivers a thumb to the eye. That was nice. Before hitting numerous chops to the chest. That chest was definitely red. White connects with the Uranagi, but Shelley gets his foot on the bottom rope to break the count. Shelley comes back with a sliced bread for a very close near fall. Shelley counters the Blade Runner into the Motor City stretch submission. That was really cool how that all came about. Right, catches him in the midair and hits the Blade Runner into the apron. This time it's Shelley who hits White with his very own Blade Runner for a 2 count. White hits one final Blade Runner to score the victory. So Jay White defeats his mentor, his teacher, Alex Shelley, in, like you say, which quite frankly was easily the match of the night. I don't think anyone would argue with that. There were some great matches, but this one was definitely the standout. Now, after the match, Shelley offers his hand to Jay White, but the leader of the Bullet Club just laughs and walks away. What are your thoughts on this, guys? Now, obviously, they're looking to build a feud here. Between them. Obviously, Jay White is the leader of the Bullet Club. Alex Shelley has got, you know, his tag partner, for instance, Chris Sabin, as part of Impact Wrestling roster. So are we going to see a potential tag match between Jay White and, say, Chris Bay versus Alex Shelley and maybe Chris Sabin as the Motor City Machine Guns? That's a dream match for me. So I hope that happens.
I hope we do.
What are your
I
thoughts?
really hope we do. The match itself easily matched of the night. And like you said, there's no, it's the card was fantastic. But this match went on for well over 25 minutes, and it was just incredible. It was back and forth. It had high flying offense, everything, submission moves. You got to really see where Jay White got his old arsenal from. You know, Alex Shelley took him back to basics, and they matched each other move for move for a very long time in this match. And it was just so incredible to see Alex Shelley back after 2 years away. And it was just, there was so much in this match. It's really hard for me to get it all into a real good time frame. So I'm not going to go from spot to spot. I'm just going to give you my briefest possible opinion on the match. It was bloody great.
You can't get much briefer than that. It was bloody great.
The handshake at the end is just playing into Jay White's character. He gave a post-match interview, and he then expressed how much he does respect Alex Shelley. But he says, "I don't need to shake your hand to let you know that I respect you, Alex Shelley." And the promo went on for a good 4 or 5 minutes as well. Yeah. And I recommend everyone check that out because it shows that Jay White is all about Jay White, and this is all part of his US tour. So we're going to see him with Chris Sabin at WrestleCon. Hopefully we'll get a match between the Motor City Machine Guns and the Bullet Club before they possibly go on to AEW. Well, before Jay White goes on to AEW, because I know there's rumors going around that the Good Brothers are also free agents as well.
They won't be until Slammiversary.
Yeah. There we go. Like I said, that's rumors for you. People are already jumping the gun, assuming that the Good Brothers aren't going to come back to Impact Wrestling and going to go to AEW. And it's not even come to Rebellion yet.
I can't see that happening, but there you go. Yeah, I mean, this face of facts, the match was awesome. And, you know, the Bullet Club are starting to build some momentum, definitely. What were your thoughts on this one, Steve? Because I know you loved it as well.
Oh, yeah, this was an absolute fantastic match. And, I mean, the story, like you said, was teacher versus student. And that's all you needed going into this. And like you said, that's all you need going into this, and they played that going into this match, and you could feel the heat going into this match, and I mean, we don't get to see Shelley singles enough of Shelley single enough of Shelley wrestle singles going enough of Shelley singles, enough of Shelley. Enough of Shelley singles wrestle on his own. Enough, do we?
No.
That's what I mean.
So what you're trying to say is we don't get to see enough of Alex Shelley wrestling on his own.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just helping you out there.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's they're the words I was trying to say. Yeah.
No, you're right. I think, you know, you don't get to see that a lot. I think there's obviously there's a lot more of that in other promotions recently, but as an Impact, I suppose, as Impact fan, we don't get to see that very often. So it is nice to get to see him going at it one-on-one with other wrestlers as well. So that's all good. What do you mean, Tom? What? Yeah, I get you. What? Yeah, I get what you're saying. Anyway, backstage, we get Violent by Design preparing to challenge the Good Brothers for the Impact World Tag Team titles tonight. So they were doing their usual, pretty much looking pretty badass and getting themselves all set, ready to kick some ass, which was good to see. This then obviously leads nicely into Deonna Purrazzo versus Chelsea Green, and obviously with the champ challenge for the Ring of Honor World's Championship. Obviously, Chelsea Green answers the champ challenge and chooses to challenge Deonna for the Ring of Honor Women's World Title. Green dives to the outside with a shot of adrenaline, taking her out of the ramp. Purrazzo quickly turns the tide, following the pinpoint running knee. Purrazzo attempts to lock in the Fujiwara armbar. Fujiwara? What the hell? Fujiwara armbar. I've turned into Steve right now.
I am f***ing greatest.
But Green wisely rolls away. Green counters another Fujiwara armbar attempt. It's really hard to say that, is it? Fujiwara armbar.
It's hard to say when you
Sadly understood about half of that.
Exactly. Anyway, so she attempts it again to get into a rollover for two. Green drives Purrazzo face first into the bottom turnbuckle, but Purrazzo grabs the rope to break the pin. Green locks in the Fujiwara armbar of her own. It's not enough to keep Purrazzo down. Purrazzo targets the previously injured wrist of Green, locking in the Fujiwara armbar, and once again to win by submission. Now, this was crazy because literally straight after the match, Purrazzo just will not, once the ref sort of kind of declared it, once she's submitted, Purrazzo just wouldn't break the hold after the bell, prompted Knockouts World Champion Mickie James to hit the ring, chase her off. Mickie is attending to Green at ringside, concerned about her well-being when Tasha Steelz makes her entrance for the upcoming Knockouts World title match. Now, thanks for the super sticker, Courtney. Really appreciate that, darling. Thank you very much. Now, I think there should be a Guinness Book World Record for the amount of times I had to say Fujiwara armbar during this match. What are your thoughts?
Oh, God. Can we get a Guinness Book World Record the amount of times I've cocked up since we started?
Yeah, I think I need a few more of these. Yeah.
Who booked this?
I got no idea. you know, Larry Bongo, you're right. Chelsea Green might be almost as good as Tennille Dashwood. Yeah, maybe. I thought it was a good match. To be fair, I thought it was a really, really good match, and I'm actually struggling to decide whether the arm issue is a work or not. Because let's face the facts, right? I know that she posted a picture of her with the thing on her wrist, and she also posted a picture with the X-ray next to it with the break. But to be fair, she's recently broken her arm, so that could be just a. Do you know what I mean? That could be like the original X-ray from the last time she did it, for all we know. So I'm still struggling. I don't know whether it's real or not. So we'll have to, or whether it's sort of part of the storyline. We'll have to wait and see. But it certainly seemed part of the storyline. You know, I mean, the way you know, Dr. Ross came running out with the ice and everything else. He's obviously ready for it. You know what I mean? So yeah. I don't know, but the match was great. I really enjoyed it. Some great storytelling. I love the amount of Fujiwara arm bars that were used. It was fantastic. So come on, lads, what were your thoughts?
This match was really good, and going off a point that Gary made earlier, you know, Deanna Praza's reaction when Chelsea Green came out was really interesting. And she explained really why she went like she did in a post-match promo. She never wanted to wrestle Chelsea Green in Impact Wrestling, but you know, because they're so close, such close friends, that if they were to ever lock horns, it would get personal and it would get nasty. And she told Chelsea Green, "Don't come after me when I'm a champion, or you will get hurt." And Chelsea Green did that. So that's really why Deanna Prazo did the whole shoot on the arm afterwards as well.
Right.
But when she actually broke her wrist, Deanna Prazo's reaction then, that to me, it seemed genuine that, oh, fuck, what the hell's happened? And then because Chelsea Green had to then tell her how we're going to how to finish this match off. She says, just do it, just hit me again. And she said when she pushed her, Deanna Prazo locked in the arm, and then that was the end of the match. But the way it all played out, the match building up to them was really, really good. Really, really solid work from Chelsea Green, and I was really hoping that this match would have gone on longer. But what happened after the match, though, with the Knockouts Championship match coming from it then, it all intertwined into one huge, big, entertaining event, and it's something I've got to watch again, because there was probably a lot of it that I've missed from it, because it was just so wow. This is
I haven't seen biting like that from a woman since I left my ex-wife for her sister.
Exactly. Now I just want to. Can you just pop up Tom's message there? He's talking about he's disappointed about Chelsea. Right. Okay. Yeah, that's the one. Right. Okay, Tom. So this for me is fantastic storytelling. So the whole point, I think, of Deanna going over to Chelsea to check on her at that point was all part of the storytelling process of then Deanna getting pushed away, so she then snaps. I gotta say, if that was a genuinely broken arm at that point, there is no way on earth that they would have put her in that Fujiwara armbar to tap out.
Well, as soon as she was put in the lock, the match was stopped. So she didn't physically tap out.
She did pull it, mate. She pulled it right up, and then she wouldn't let it go. And then she wouldn't let go.
As soon as she locked the arm, the armbar in, the match was stopped. Chelsea Green didn't. Yeah,
it was stopped, but she wouldn't let go. She didn't let go.
Yeah.
It took Mickey James to come down.
Yeah, I know.
Right. So what I'm saying is that if she'd genuinely broken her arm at that point, there is no way
they wouldn't have they wouldn't have let it continue. They wouldn't have let Deanna they wouldn't have let her put her in another armbar, would they?
Yeah. See, and again, you know, like Larry's just saying there, Larry Bongo's saying, they did the whole thing so well that it's left us all guessing and talking about it.
Yeah.
There you go. You know, there you go. It's exactly that. Can I just say goodbye to Courtney? She's on her way. Take care, Courtney. We'll see you next week, I'm sure. Take care. So yeah, critical sting. Look, work. I agree.
Yeah, I think looking back at it now, I think it's all a work, and it's all part of a storyline. Because especially when Jonah Brazil gave that post-match interview, telling everyone about her history with Chelsea Green, and saying that she if she came across me, then she would get hurt. That is it. It's building up rivalry between Jonah Brazil and Chelsea Green.
Of course it is. I think it's been extremely well done. I'm very excited about where that's going to go. I'm very excited about where it's going to go.
But
For reals.
reals, but definitely for reals.
In the moment watching it, I really did think, shit, she's broken her arm. She really is hurt, and it just shows fantastic storytelling from Impact Wrestling.
I think so. Great storytelling from Impact wrestlers. That's the key. Like it was, I thought it was really good, really well done. And again, like you said, we're talking about it. It leaves everyone not sure. Is it a work or is it not a work? We're not sure. The promo afterwards was fantastic from Deanna. I gotta say, that went onto social media. Absolutely fantastic. So we had that. All of this, of course, led seamlessly into the Mickie James versus Tasha Steelz, Savannah Evans. With Savannah Evans. Now, the interesting thing about this is now Mickey's obviously able to play on the fact that everything that went down before the match sort of kind of like took her off her game, or it was distraction, and it was difficult for her to focus on the match because of her friend and all this kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting where it goes. But this is how this one went down. Tasha attacks Mickie before the opening bell to gain an early advantage. Meanwhile, Savannah Evans attacks an already injured Chelsea Green at ringside. James comes to her defense. This is all very, contrived, right? But Tasha capitalizes off the distraction with a dive to the floor. Now, Tasha remains in control by sending her crashing into the steel steps. Tasha chokes Mickie with her boots. Then it hits a running uppercut in the corner, which is fabulous. Tasha locks in the camel clutch. That always reminds me of camel toe. The camel toe. But anyway, the camel clutch. While raking at Mickey's eyes.
Wrestling move.
It's definitely a very different thing, but there you go. As insult to injury. Moments later, Mickie hits the backpack stunner to create some breathing room. Both knockouts tumble to the floor after exchanging shots and on the top rope. Mickie mounts her. That sounds a bit. Sorry, guys. Mickie mounts her with the. I forgot what this is called. Is it called the Thieves Press or something? Therese Press. As the pace quickens, Mickie hits the Mick DT, but Evans gets into the ring to provide a distraction. Mickie takes her out, then connects with the flapjack on Tasha. Tasha distracts the referee, allowing Evans to get involved once again. Tasha catches Mickie with a mid-air cutter to win the match and become the new Knockouts World Champion. So there is a running theme all the way through this match. So there's some great storytelling all the way through, though. Savannah Evans is getting involved. We've got the distraction going on with regards to Chelsea Green. So there's a big case for Mickie now to turn around and say, you only beat me because of everything else that was going on. Savannah getting involved, Chelsea at ringside, distractions, etc., etc. However, congratulations to Tasha Steelz. Fantastic to see her as a Knockouts champion. What are your thoughts, Steve?
Originally, I was a bit like, ooh, they're going from knockout match to knockout match, one after the other. That's very unusual. So I was a little taken back because it's very unusual to have two knockout matches, one after the other. Normally they spread them out, don't they? But given the situation, it was understandable and it played in storyline wise, so I was okay with it. And I'll give them this. I thought this match was better than their No Surrender match. I felt that it added. I don't know why. I don't know why it was better. just something clicked better for me. I felt that both knockouts just gelled better for some reason, and overall, yeah, just for me clicked better. And yeah, congratulations to Tasha. You know, we've been saying for a long while that she's the next up and coming knockout who is ready for that knockouts title, and they pulled the trigger with her. And congratulations to Impact for, you know, going with it.
Yeah, I agree. What about Joe? What does the Mass Dog say? What does Mass Dog think of all this?
He's busy looking at food at the moment. This match, the way this match followed on from the last match, and the way commentary also helped, like saying, you know, guys, this is a live show, we have to keep going, and like that. You know, it helped bring it all in together, so it didn't seem like, oh, this is a bit, oh, that there's a knockouts match after another knockouts match. It all just seemed like, oh, okay, so this is just natural progression. It took your attention off of the fact that we got two knockouts matches back to back, or two knockouts matches back to back. The way Tasha Steelz kept playing off of Chelsea Green being injured in this match was brilliant. It just Mickie James's focus just being gone, basically, really doesn't make Mickie James look weak in this match. It just adds more into the rematch that we're going to get between these two.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
One of the other really big things that Tasha Steelz just like Steve said, this match was better than their match at No Surrender by a mile, and everything about this match just seemed to know each other better.
Yeah,
in the ring now, and you could see it, and it was just such a great match. And one of the big highlights was Mickie James kicking Savannah Evans right on the crotch, Eric Cartman style. I'll kick you in the nuts.
Exactly. Take care, Hakeem. See you soon. Don't forget to let us know about any articles you got going on. Don't forget to do that before you leave.
He's put an idea up already, and that's he's hopefully he's thought about the 10 best talkers of Impact Wrestling after we were talking about the promo work earlier on.
That would be good. That'd be really good.
Can you hear that? No? Let me turn it up for you.
Exactly. He's one of them. He is one of them. Like, he's so good. But anyway, so we then head into the Impact World Tag Team Championships. We've got Bullet Club's very own, the Good Brothers, come with Chris Bay in their corner versus Violent by Design. It was Eric Young and Joe Doring, obviously, as the tag team with Dina in their corner. Now, this is pretty much how it went down, guys. Doring squares off with Gallows, pummeling him in all four corners of the ring. Gallows fights back, taking the big man off his feet with a pump kick. Anderson hits Young with a leaping senton. Again, that was pretty cool. Followed by a fisherman's buster. Again, a great move. To the back of the neck for, the back of the neck for a 2 count. Doring makes a blind tag, catching Anderson off guard as he squashes him in the corner. Young hits top rope elbow, drop on Anderson for a near fall. Anderson makes the tag to Gallows, who clears house with a flurry of offense. The Good Brothers hit the double team net breaker to Young. The Good Brothers tend to magic killer, but Young counters. Doring clotheslines Anderson as Young follows up with a driver with a very close near fall. Doring takes out everyone with a thunderous Tower of Doom out of the corner. Young delivers a low blow to Gallows, then takes him out with a pile driver at the top of the stage. Soon as it happened, we knew what was going to happen. Then Violent by Design hits a powerbomb neckbreaker on Anderson to become the new Impact World Tag Team Champs. Congratulations, VBD. It's been a long time coming. Exactly what I think a lot of the fans have wanted is you guys to take that title. But guys, with all that said, now where does that leave the Bullet Club? The reason that Jay was bringing them back in apparently was because he thought that they were the safer bet. But look at that, the first tag match they have, they lose. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Where does it leave the Bullet Club? What were your thoughts on the match? Let's go with Steve first.
Well, the match itself, I thought was absolutely fantastic. I'll give credit as well because we had Dina out there, but I didn't spot Bay out there. But Dina was out there and did not interfere, which huge credit. So that was a plus.
He was waving the flag a lot.
Yeah, but he was out there, but never once interfered in the match, which is always a plus when you've got a man on the outside and does not interfere in the match.
Yeah.
But yeah, the match itself I thought was a great tag match. Did everything a tag match should do. I'll be honest, again, this is my personal preference. I felt that they could have done more with the ending, because they really built up that Doring and Gallows were two monsters that could not, when they were together, could do everything. And I felt they could have really done something with Doring pinning Gallows.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they didn't go with it.
That could have set up a big man versus big man feud, I guess.
Yeah, because with if one monster would have pinned the other, they'd have said, look, those monsters now one has pinned the other, so one is superior. Yeah. But they obviously didn't go with it. So yeah, but obviously,
Eric Young outsmarted everybody.
Yeah, he did. And Good Brothers were the ones that took the titles off VBD back at Slammiversary, weren't they? So now
tables are turned.
But it's interesting now, like you say, they kicked GOD out, and now the Good Brothers have lost the title. So it's interesting in now what the Bullet Club do.
Yeah, revenge is too sweet. Let's get too sweet in. Let's get it in, everyone. Let's do it in the middle. Get to the middle. Fantastic. Well done. Yeah, so I don't know where this is going to go, but by all accounts, the Bullet Club are going to address the Impact Zone tomorrow night. So we'll have to see what they have to say for themselves.
Naughty boys.
Into that. Yes, very naughty boys. And yes, I totally agree with you, Larry. The face pulling is hilarious from Doran. He is the best. He's the best face pulling heel we've got. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
He's good at doing the snarl, isn't he? He's like
the snarls and yeah. This
just
whole
nods
match
his head, just as this.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do much. And he's intimidating.
He is. Yeah, it was a great match. We then move on, and we've got the Impact World Championship. We got Moose versus Heath. Anthony Corelli then joins Tom Hannafan and Matthew Ravell on commentary. Obviously, we've seen a few people joining them on commentary. We've been seeing that quite regularly, to be fair, not just over Sacrifice. So it's quite good to see that. So we've got Moose versus Heath. So this is how it all went down, guys. Moose drives Heath into the corner turnbuckle before repeatedly burying his shoulder into Heath's midsection, which I have to say probably absolutely kills. Moose launches him across the ring with ease. He fires himself up, but Moose quickly shuts down his momentum with a big boot on the floor. Moose is in control as he Irish whips his shoulder against first into the steel ring steps. Moose continues to pick Heath apart with a brutal beating, including two vicious Uranagis on the apron. He finally gains some momentum, taking Moose off his feet with a springboard crossbody to the outside. Heath then gets in some offense where he hits the wake-up call, but Moose barely gets his shoulder up for a 2 count. Moose connects with another Uranagi, followed by the no jackhammer needed spear to retain the Impact World title. Now, if you ever needed a lesson on how to tell a story in a match, then this was it. This was a great storytelling match.
Yeah,
really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed this match. It wasn't about fancy flips. It wasn't about fast pace or anything like that. It was about telling the story, from start to finish. And I thought this was a really good match. And as much as we knew Heath was never going to win, it was great to see him in the main event getting.
I used to have a last name, but now a billionaire keeps it in a safe.
Exactly, getting a shot at the big time, and thoroughly deserved. But it all ended as inevitable as we thought it would, with Moose obviously winning the match. Now, before we move on to obviously what happens next, what were your thoughts on this match? I'm going to go with Joe first on this one.
Well, you summed it up pretty much how I was going to how I put it across to you earlier tonight. It was just pure storytelling, played out perfectly, pure and simple. Like it wasn't about big moves or anything like that. It was just about, let's get these two guys in the ring and let's continue to build Moose up as a big fucking powerhouse and give Heath the opportunity he so rightly deserves. He came out to the ring the week before and challenged Moose for the belt and called him out for not representing the company and not showing any respect to the company. So, and Heath justified that with the fact that Impact Wrestling stood behind him from day one, and he's been injured for over a year. So that set the tone for the match instantly. Like Heath is going in as the underdog, so you can't expect him to lift Moose and throw him around or anything like that. You can just expect him to give it his all, which he did when he had the chance to. Which adds on to what Moose was saying about when he took out Matt Cardona, when he took out Eddie Edwards, guys that come after him, they rarely get a chance to fight back. And if you're going to, you make a count or you get destroyed. So I'm interested to see what happens to Heath after this. Now, does he end up getting like psychologically broken now, or is he going to just go and help his buddy Rhino?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It showcased a lot more from Moose than we saw when Moose had his match with W Morrissey as well. But then of course Heath is a smaller guy, but he's not like 5 foot. He's like 6 foot 5 or something. Like he's quite tall.
He's still a big dude.
Yeah, he's still
big. He wasn't. I think to be fair, I think they're probably about the same height.
Yeah. So it was just good to see Moose really looking strong and making what should have been a squash match go with distance and be entertaining throughout.
I agree. Steve, what are your thoughts?
I'll add to. I'll agree 100% with what Joe said, and I think Anthony Corelli added a lot on commentary by sort of bigging Moose up, and it's really saying that he's never seen the side of Moose that he was showing in the ring and showing that dangerous side. I think that really helped as well.
Yes, I agree with that too.
The commentary really helped carry this match too.
I think that's when you have a storytelling heavy match, the commentary adds so much to it, and I think, like you say, they're right. They did a great job, and with Anthony Corelli in there as well, that made a match. It was a good match to end the show on. And of course, then we get the aftermatch with Josh Alexander makes his shocking return to Impact Wrestling, takes out Moose. Alexander then sort of says that Scott D'Amore was right to send him home. Alexander reveals that he's signed a new multi-year contract with Impact Wrestling. He'll be challenging Moose for the Impact World title at Rebellion. There you go. There's your main event done.
Take my money right now.
Exactly, and it's certainly well put together. And I think a lot of people were very, very shocked. Because obviously Sacrifice then goes off air, but a lot of people were very shocked to see Josh turn up. What were your thoughts?
This place rules.
Hell yeah, that was good.
What were your thoughts, Steve?
Yeah, like we knew Josh. Well, I say we knew. We had a feeling that Josh would be turning up again at some point, and I think we had a feeling that Josh and Moose at some point would be happening, either Rebellion, Slammiversary, or Bound for Glory. It was just if and when they would set it up, and this was the perfect setup. It really was. It was done possibly in the perfect way. And Josh announcing that that he'd been sent home, and he'd been sent home close to the national or the offices of Anthem, and he'd been able to do this and set this contract up and announce that he'd been given a multi-year deal. It was beautifully done. It really was.
Yeah, I agree. And can I just say that to Anna there, Matthew Raybolt is a colour commentator, just with a little bit of knowledge of moves. But there you go. So people keep saying the AEW under-delivers with its surprises. Don't think anyone could say that with Impact. No, I agree. Totally. I totally agree with that, Larry.
Yeah.
Something tells me somebody other than Scott D'Amore was involved in Josh re-signing with Impact, maybe Tommy or Gail. Who knows?
I think it was Gail because there's a segment on Twitter when they tried to get a word from Scott D'Amore about Josh Alexander's return, and he's just pissed off that it's happened.
Yeah,
even when Josh Alexander jumped into the ring, you could hear Tom Hannafin saying, "Has he gone over Scott D'Amore? He shouldn't be here."
Yeah.
So it's already dropped that hint that when Josh Alexander said he went to Anthem's headquarters, he didn't go to Scott D'Amore. He went straight to the top and went. So Scott, I think this is going to create a big rift between Scott D'Amore and Josh Alexander. And
maybe Ed. Maybe it was Ed.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Ed got involved.
Well, D'Lo's big on talent relation and that now.
Yeah, D'Lo and Tommy are two guys that are really, really big on talent relations. Or might even be Lance Storm.
We're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing we can say is that there's definitely a big Canadian contingent now with Impact Wrestling. Whether it be a Lance Storm. Well, whether it be Lance Storm, whether it be Aiden Prince coming in now, obviously Josh Alexander, there's a massive Canadian presence. With regards to Impact. I mean, Gail Kim's Canadian, isn't she, as well? So they're all. There's a very big Canadian presence now. It's gonna be interesting to see where this all pans out. I'm extremely excited to see Josh home. He deserves to be there. He deserves to be the top man of the company. So I cannot wait to see where this goes over the coming weeks leading into Rebellion. And of course, I am rooting for Josh all the way to become the next Impact World Champion. At that point, I think it's going to be great. So I'm looking forward to it. So that was Sacrifice, guys. What a fantastic show. I think if we were going to give it a rating, I'm going to go a 9 for this show. I think this has definitely deserved a 9. It was on par, if not a little bit better than No Surrender for me. So I'm going to go 9. Any thoughts, guys? Any thoughts?
It was, like you said, just as good, if not better than No Surrender. If I have to be really, really, really nitpicky, that would be the technical issues during the countdown to Sacrifice, during Matt Taven and Mike Bennett versus Rich Swann and Willie Mack. There was some technical issues there with the cameras. But, that's just petty, nitpicky bullshit. The card itself and the whole night was fantastic. And you couldn't ask for more. Since the whole year's kicked off, Impact Wrestling has been on fire again.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, Larry gave it a 10. He says, can't think of anything to take any points away. I'm going to say that, again, for me, the few little technical issues here and there are probably what sort of kind of like take it away from me. I also think there's a bit of a sound issue as well. Like the crowd were fantastic, but the commentary seemed a bit quiet for me. I think the commentary needs to be a bit louder. It sort of kind of got lost in the crowd at times, but it was good. It was still great.
I don't know if it's just me, and I don't know if it's just me, but throughout the Jonah PCO match, I was getting double camera visuals.
Yeah. That happened I think that happened in the tab in the tag match as well.
It happened in Tavern and Rich Swann's match.
Yeah, that happened a couple of times, and I think for me that's what knocks off that point. Nothing to do with the performances, but just to do with a few technical issues that really shouldn't be there. We've not seen before. So it's just a bit frustrating. But guys, we've still got Impact to talk about for this coming week. I mean, tomorrow night, we've got BTI, we've got Impact Wrestling. I don't think we've got the BTI match again yet.
Next week.
Exactly. But what we did have tonight release was a digital media exclusive match between Aiden Prince versus Mike Bailey. And this was filmed at Sacrifice. So the live audience got to see this. It was a good crowd. It was a great match. I have to say this was a really good match. Mike Bailey comes out on top, which I think you would expect because they're giving him a push at the moment. But it was a good match. Well worth checking this one out. I think it goes up for free. Is it Saturday or is it Friday? It goes up for free.
It's free on Saturday, from Saturday.
Make sure you watch it. Like I said, really, really good match. Have you seen it already, Steve?
Yeah.
Yes, it was a good match, wasn't it?
Oh, fantastic! Yeah. Aiden's, and I'll again, another line from Matthew Raywalt was as soon as Aiden Prince comes down the line, he was like, "Oh, Aiden's a fantastic name, isn't it?"
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yes. Do you know what? Actually, that's really funny because that sort of kind of went over my head initially, but now you mention it, he did say that. Yeah, that's funny. Anyway, well worth checking it out. It was a blooming good match. I don't want to say too much. I know a lot of people haven't seen it, so I don't want to go too in depth in it. But it was a very good match and well worth checking out. Sting saying that the BTO match is Jordan Grace versus Havoc.
Oh, yum! This is going to be good.
Yeah, that's going to
be a fantastic match.
Nice.
Well, let's go with Joe then. What are your thoughts on that match? I know you're a big Havoc fan.
Big fan of both of them. God, I'm looking forward to this. So I don't think we've seen them square off one-on-one yet, or not for a very long time. I don't think we saw even when Rachel Allen was there. I don't think we saw Havoc and Jordan Grace square off against each other because Havoc always seemed to take on the people she was able to lift up a lot easier. So this is going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed this, but Jordan is getting so strong, and she's getting absolutely jacked. Like the fact that she was able to pick up and throw around Matt Cardona is testament to how strong she's getting. But she is certainly getting jacked as well. She looks big. She looks strong. So yeah, I think it's interesting how this is gonna all pan out. Gary's saying that I'm really interested in Iceman's intel this week.
Yeah.
But to be fair, some of his intel's quite good, but recently it's not been that great.
No, but I hope he's got something about Scott in this one.
I would be interested to see if he's got something to add to that storyline, definitely. We then move into Impact Wrestling itself. And what we've got listed at the moment are as follows. So we've got the Bullet Club is going to address the Impact Zone. Now, what this is about, I'm not sure, but maybe it's about the future, where they're going. Are they going to add somebody to the club? I don't know. Not sure what's going to go on there. We get Josh Alexander returning to the Impact Zone. Now, is this, they don't say he's talking to the Impact Zone, they're saying he's returning to the Impact Zone. So is this going to be a match? Are we going to get a Josh Alexander match tomorrow night on Impact Wrestling? I hope so. But who do you think?
Might be an impromptu one.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
impromptu. Probably. Well, Eddie Edwards has got a match, so probably get someone like Mike Bennett or someone like that, to come out and try and ruffle his feathers a bit more, or W.
Maybe.
Morrissey. But if like Brian Myers gets in Josh Alexander's way, then legs it, and then we have W. Morrissey versus Josh Alexander out of nowhere. That would be pretty interesting.
I think it's going to be more likely to be someone that Josh can sort of finish off fairly quickly.
Oh yeah,
or maybe it'll just be another somebody sort of kind of like debuting again. Like they've had like some big dudes turn up.
And I want my pizzles back.
Johnny Swinger. Let's get Johnny Swinger against Josh Alexander tomorrow night on Impact. That would be a great match. Maybe not. I think that deserves one of these. There you go. Dummy. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. But we do also have 3 matches advertised. So we've got a X Division match between Skylar, Ace Austin versus Crazy Steve. Now, apparently, because they've also announced it, there's going to be an X Division 3-way match at Rebellion. This particular match is for a place in that. The first person to face Trey Miguel for the X Division title at Rebellion will come out of this match. It's got to be Ace Austin. I'd be very surprised if it isn't. I don't know. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think Ace Austin's going to win this one, and then jumping ahead a week, I think if Mike Bailey's in the next one, Mike Bailey's going to win, and we're going to get Trey Miguel, Mike Bailey, and Ace Austin at Rebellion.
I think you might be right. That would be my pick. That would be my pick. What about you, Steve?
You know, I'd agree with you that of the three, it's Ace Austin is the most likely, judging by the booking of all three men, because Ace is the only one who looks more likely. But I'd like to see Crazy Steve, just because the Decay needs something, and I mean, Ace has been very very wishy-washy over the last year. He needs more than the X Division, I feel.
Yeah, I do too. I think he does need to push for something else. I think if we get Ace Austin and Mike Bailey at Rebellion, I think either Trey Miguel's going to retain or Mike Bailey's going to be our next X Division champion, and Ace Austin and Falls are going to go elsewhere, hopefully. But
I think you could be right. I think you could be right.
This is really just building onto Ace Austin and Mike Bailey going head to head at some point.
Could be, yeah, definitely. But it's going to be interesting to see how this one definitely pans out, and I'm excited for it. I think all three men are fantastic, so it's going to be great. We've then got Tasha Steeles and Savannah Evans with the Influence versus Mickey James, Chelsea Green, and the Inspiration. So we've got like an eight girl tag here. Now this is interesting because, like I said, if Chelsea Green's injury was as bad as they were making out, there's no way she'd be in a match the following day.
I can turn it on anytime, Pat. Come on, no problem.
Well, that's what Chelsea thinks. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. I guess maybe putting her in a match with three other girls taking most of the work could work. I don't know, but it should be good. Yeah, Larry, there is a crackling on the sound. I think it's when Steve's talking. So I don't know whether it's your microphone playing up again, Steve. Can you talk so we can see if
Hello?
Go on, keep going. A bit more than that. I don't know. What about you?
Sound seems to be fine to me.
Okay.
Maybe the microphone might be too close to my mouth. Maybe it's that, but I'm talking a bit too loudly. But
let us know, Larry, when the crackling appears. Let us know so we try and fix it. Okay, so that's going to be an interesting matchup. I mean, at the end of the day, we all love the Inspiration. You guys are big fans of the Influence, so it should be a pretty awesome matchup. I think this is going to be a good one. I'm interested to see what the Inspiration's ring gear is going to be for this one. I love the Britney Spears inspired stuff they had at Sacrifice. I thought was quite cool. So, really cool.
Sort of mermaid sort of inspired for me.
No, it's Britney Spears inspired, man. That's what the Snake was all about. Come on.
I don't know. I don't do Britney Spears.
No, I think I'm pretty sure it was Britney Spears inspired, but I don't know. I might be wrong. Someone in the chat let me know.
Tom Hannafin said it was, so
I don't know.
He did actually, didn't he? Yeah, Tom Hannafin said it was Britney Spears inspired.
Yeah.
So there you go. So it's Britney Spears inspired. Yeah, that's what the Snakes are all about. It's one of her videos.
Okay.
But there you go. So there you go, Larry. It seems to happen when you're speaking, Steve. So we then also have advertised Rich Swann. One was coming. These two were former kind of best mates. Both of them kind of could carry the monocle of Mr. Impact, I guess, to a degree. Rich has been a fantastic ambassador for Impact Wrestling over the past 3 years, and of course we know where Eddie stands now. But who knows? What are your thoughts on this one? I think Joe, being the massive Eddie Edwards fan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, this was naturally going to happen because Eddie Edwards called out Rich Swann during his promo when he was talking about why he's done what he's done. Rich Swann was the first person he blamed after Scott D'Amore about the whole dishonor thing and everything. So I think it just makes perfect sense for him to go from Rhino to Rich Swann, and then work his way down Team Impact until Steve Macklin comes through again. I agree. Yeah, and Rich Swann and Eddie Edwards was going to put on a hell of a match. So there's no objection from me to seeing this at all. I'm Team Eddie all the way. Sorry, guys, but Eddie Edwards is my guy.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And
what about Go on. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, you know, like Joe said, this will be a hell of a match. Could go either way. I mean, I'm seeing. I don't know how you can not keep booking Honor No More to look strong. Really, I mean, they had a bit of an off night on the pay-per-view, so they have to bounce back. Really,
they've got to get some sort of bounce back here. I think, yeah, definitely. You know, or it'll end up with a breakout brawl, so it ends in DQ or something. I don't know, but either way, you know, we've got to keep this Honor No More going. We've got to keep that momentum going on this to see where it goes. I think it's good stuff. It also, like you say, it opens up fresh avenues. You know, I mean, you know, I can't wait. I have to be honest, I cannot wait to see OGK back in the ring. You know, Bennett and Taven. I honestly can't wait to see those guys back. And I want to see Willie Mack and Rich Swann tagging again. They're just so good. So it's going to be interesting to see where all this pans out. But I'm excited about the next sort of 2 or 3 weeks or 4 or 5 weeks leading up to Rebellion now. And, of course, if we get that match with Alex Shelley versus Jay White again at WrestleCon, that's an absolute blinder as well.
Chris Sabin.
Chris Sabin?
Yeah.
Chris Sabin versus Jay White.
Oh, is it? That's what it is. Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God, that's even crazier.
Mm.
So obviously we're going to get some kind of thing with regards to Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin getting together. Then I guess
hopefully
at some point. Well, I'm excited for that. Hopefully we'll have to wait and see what happens. But guys, I think that's pretty much all we've got time for this week. You know, we've been going for nearly almost 2 hours, 1 hour 51. It's been great having everyone with us, but please don't forget to head over to the TNI Patreon for exclusive extra content when you sign up. Also, make sure you watch tomorrow night's TNI flagship Impact Live review directly after the show is aired on Twitch and, of course, on YouTube. Also, all TNI shows are available for all of you listen on the go fans as audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, or just wherever you listen to your favorite shows, we are there. Where can we find you on the socials, Joe?
You can follow me on Twitter at JOKEmptyspace. You can jump onto WrestleBuddy and look for me in the Impact Wrestling section somewhere out there, anywhere. And if you want to find me on Facebook, look for #EmptySpace, #TheVoid, or if you wish to test your sense of humor, #DailyGiggle, and check out the profile with an open mind, and you just might keep your sanity.
You may do. What about you, Steve?
You can find me over on Twitter at SimplySteve311 for everything Impact Wrestling related, or you can head over to WrestleBuddy if you fancy reading any of my articles.
Do it.
Under the cheers, Joe. Under the Impact Wrestling header, you can find any of them. Where I put a new one every Thursday, so there'll be a new one coming out tomorrow if you fancy giving one.
I could not recommend enough going and checking out both these guys' articles. They're very what they do. Well worth going and checking that over on WrestleBuddy.com/impact. It's definitely worth checking that out. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more about the Bison, well, you can find me on Twitter at LordBison45. Everything I talk about is pretty much wrestling related on there, so it's worth going and checking that out. I also like to go and sort of search out news items here and there, and I start trying to get them pushed out so everyone can check them out as well. I'm well and truly past 1,500 now on my follows, so it's all very exciting at the moment. It seems to be creeping up very, very quickly at the moment. But guys, listen, this is important. This is very important. So got to get those fingers ready. We've got to get those eyes and those ears open, ready for this. Now, please take the time to help us out moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us a thumbs up. And if you're new to us and you like what you have seen, don't forget to hit or click on that big red subscribe button. Make sure you do it. It's right there. Click on it. And don't forget to give the bell a tickle, a squeeze, and of course a smash. To never miss any of the TNI UK US team great content each and every single week. Don't forget, if you want to support TNI, head over to the Spreadshirt store or prowrestlingtees.com/total nonstop impact. Now, with all of that said, guys, I've been Bison. They have been the Joker and, of course, Simply Steve. And this has been episode 72, fastly approaching 100, of Impacted. Take care, everyone.
We're Bison! We are Impacted!